Hi everyone, it's Cindy and I have a new project to share. This is a little book I made using a book I bought on eBay called A Precise or Concise Guide in Color, Herbs, and it had such a pretty cover, front and back, that I really didn't do a lot to the cover. I used some fabric that I found also on eBay. It was a fat quarter, and it was, I think it was like close to $3 shipped. Not a great buy, not a bad buy. And then I put some charms on the stitch lines and some white rickrack that I kind of grunged up a little bit, and this little butterfly. I just got a bunch of these, again, from eBay. And this one I grunged up. They are white, and I'm going to offer them in my shop if you're interested, but that was a sideline. So let me show you through my little book. I used the paper, the herbarium from Craft Compendium. Is that what it is? Yeah, and as well as some other papers. I used some Tim Holtz-Warren wallpaper and mostly tea-dyed paper beside that, bunch of different ones. So let me get through this. So there are 3 signatures. I used some book pages to make pockets and tags and things like that. So this is a double pocket. This is one of the cards that came with the paper collection. And I just put some tea-dyed paper on the back so you can write on it. And the same with these tags that I made, just using some odds and ends that I had. I also put tea-dyed paper on the back of those. I used black because there were several sheets of black paper in the collection, and I wanted to sort of honor that. So on the back side, it's just this paper with an herb jar, I guess. A little, I don't know what you call those things, just a little collage of fabric and a B button, a little purple button, a tiny little green button. I don't know if that shows up or not. But this is tea-dyed copy paper. Here's the worn wallpaper. And I just stitched some grosgrain ribbon, just crinkled it up as I went and put that on there. And there is some stenciling as well on the back of those papers. A little pocket I made using a vocabulary card. Added some rickrack and some seam bias tape onto that. A couple little tags that I made using book page. And also this is some kind of interesting journaling paper I bought, and so I tea-dyed that and used that folded it up and used that to make this tag. This is just tea-dyed paper on the back. It really got kind of dark and funky on the top pages, and so I thought, gotta use that. And then this page is a piece of the masking paper. I got mine at Lowe's, and somehow along the way I got a couple little slight holes along the edge here. I think it was when I trimmed off my book, and this was just at the edge, so it got a little tiny hole there and one up here as well. So I just put some washi tape on that. And then here at the corner, I had a little gummed up spot that I thought was going to be fragile, so I just put a little butterfly of washi there. So going on, this is some bond paper and some more tea-dyed paper. The signatures, this one is actually a graph paper that you can just, if you're really looking close, and I don't know if the camera will do it, but you can just make out that it's graph paper. And some stamping, and I did some distressing. And I did stencils when I did my tea dyeing, so I got some interesting patterns. And this is more masking paper. This one is in the brown with my fabric flip. I have a little leaf pattern and some floral, and then this is a bit of the pattern or the paper that I used for the spine, little lavender ribbon. And then one more sheet of tea-dyed paper, and then I built some pages, using the pages from the book. There were some wonderful illustrations. In fact, every one of them had a layout like this with a picture of the herb on one side and a description of the herb and what its medicinal uses might be across from it. So I really had to take advantage of that. So with this one, this folds out, and you see the nasturtium here, and I just couldn't let that, disappear. And here is the description of this. This is wild thyme. And so I had to do some fancy cutting and pasting and whatnot to make that work. But it was fun to do. And then this one, the description didn't match anything, so I put some tea-dyed paper over it. A little pocket with one of those cutouts from the collection, and another tag. And that's on tea-dyed paper. And so we're into the back of the signature now, so it's just the opposite of what happened in the front. Just put a little bit of this nice little trim that I have. I've gotten some Happy Mail, I think. Stenciling on the back of that worn wallpaper. It's a library pocket, and I just decorated it and stamped it. This is a little piece of, my husband got the idea of using one of his seed books, seed catalogs that came, and so I cut out pictures of various herbs and used throughout the book. And like, for instance, no, that's not, that's fabric. This is a library card that I used to make a collage, and tucked in that pocket. And like I said, this has just got tea-dyed paper on the back. And that's the end of that signature. This pocket, I just made it on a slant, and it is a double pocket, one of those little tags that I made. Another one from the collection. And this one I just used a little bit of paper from the collection. And this is from the seed catalog. This is actually from the seed catalog as well. Just cut it out and use it there. And it's got paper on the back, so it can be used as a journaling spot. So, and this paper obviously is from the collection as well. This nice little gardening shears and herbs hanging here. I like that. It has the same on the back of that black paper, but it's in this sort of taupey color. Here's another little fabric collage with buttons from basically the same fabrics. The other side of the worn wallpaper, and this one's got some, or a new worn wallpaper, I should say. This one's got some rickrack, jumbo rickrack. Another vocabulary card. I've got baby rickrack and a little bit of a scrap of scrapbook paper. Here are the tags for here. This one is for cilantro. I don't know if that shows. And just some of that. Actually, so this pocket would be like this because the herbs are hanging. So, and let's see. So that's that. A little bit of stamping here. I have the stamps that match the collection. So all the stamping is from those two stamp sets. Another piece of that graph paper, and again, it's hard to make out, but it really is graph paper. Just the usual, and again, there's the fabric clip, this time with a double layer of green lace there. And to reinforce in places like this where I stitched on this paper, I always put some washi just to make sure it's going to hold up. And so here we are to those pages from the book. This time we have mullein, and that's mullein, and here's this description. If you go to the inside, we have rhubarb, which that doesn't look like the rhubarb we get, but you know what I mean. And so this one has two pockets, and there are tags inside. And on the back we have, I believe that is cowslip, yes. And so I just thought the illustrations were too great not to use as much as we could. And again, there's tea-dyed paper there for extra journaling. Here's another library card. This one was for the bee tree and other stuff. And so since it was about a tree and a bee tree at that, I decided to keep it visible. And then, of course, you can write on the back. This little tuck spot, sewed that on, obviously. And, let's see, I'm trying to show you anything that's sort of different and interesting. I sewed this trim on this page, but this page folds back, so there's lots and lots of space to either attach things or write with a dark pen or whatever, however you want to do it. Again, I reinforced that with some washi. It probably isn't showing up. There you go. I reinforced where the stitching was with washi. And stenciling on the back of that worn wallpaper. And another library pocket. This has got some fabric and it's actually a scrap from the farm book that I made. I just put that there. There's another little picture from the seed catalog and some of that stenciled tea dyeing that I did, and a couple of tags from the collection. And here's this pocket, next signature, the last one, pretty much the same, although this one's a double pocket. And I glued it all down in the back, so it's just a double pocket. Thought about making it a triple pocket, but the paper is so brittle, I was afraid it wouldn't hold up to it. And here's the little fabric collage there with the buttons and the fabrics. There is some pink regular rickrack on this piece of worn wallpaper. And stenciling there. There's that vocabulary pocket. A little bit of trim left from when I made a bee book. It says Queen Bee and has a little picture of a bee. And some of that really cool stenciled tea-dyed paper. And on we go. It's very much the same in every signature. There's the fabric flip for that page, this signature. And like all my books, lots and lots and lots of writing space. There's the tea-dyed paper on the back of the pages from the book. Here we have, what is that? Oh, Rest Tarot, it's called. And it's a pretty, pretty picture. And this has got a double pocket as well, and that is the Opium Poppy, which I find that interesting, so I included it. I had no idea that's what that was like. Pockets in, or tags in these pockets as well. And this last is parsley. Again, I guess I knew parsley was a root vegetable. I just don't think about it, I guess. Another little tag there. And the brown paper. Some more stamping. This is rosemary. Graph paper. Bond paper. Yellow rickrack here. And this one doesn't fold out. I cut that one off completely, I think, when I trimmed the pages. So that's just got the yellow rickrack. And the back of the worn wallpaper. And the last page has pockets from the page. And another collaged tag. This one was from paper. And there we have it. That's that last pocket. And on the inside of the cover, the white paper from the original book was in such good shape that I didn't do anything to it at all. That's really yellowing. The book is from the 1970s. So I just ran that jumbo rickrack right around on the inside. And that's it. That's my little book. Again, there's charms on the side and showing off my new logo stamp. I've had the logo for a while. I just had it made into a stamp after I sold a book. Had no big claim on the money. I said to my husband, I think I'm going to invest in some things for my shop. So I bought the stamp and I got a new business card. So that's it. That's this book. I'm going to be taking pictures and getting this listed in my Etsy today, and as well as maybe getting these butterflies and some other lace in the shop too. So please like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.